It happens rarely, so when the Prime Minister demotes one of his cabinet ministers, you know that the minister has become a big problem. Today, Julian Fantino lost his job as Minister of Veterans Affairs. It came after weeks of demands he resign, months of anger, and some very public run-ins with the veterans Fantino professed to be helping. So, what made Stephen Harper move now? In an election year, nothing happens without a reason. Catherine Cullen has the story. Catherine.
Peter, 2015 is an election year, and what was one of the Prime Minister's first big public acts to deal with one of last year's biggest problems?
Mr. Fantino, any comments, sir?
Yes, Happy New Year.
Julian Fantino started off the new year with a demotion before disappearing from sight. He's not gone from the Prime Minister's cabinet, though. He's now an Associate Minister of Defense. This after a 2014 where he sometimes looked insensitive to veterans.
You know, this finger-pointing stuff doesn't really work very well with me.
Oh, well, that's just too bad. It don't work well with us that you didn't turn up at a meeting.
And their families.
You're forgetting us. Once more.
It's pretty rare for the Prime Minister to so publicly punish a cabinet minister, but there were signs it was coming. In an interview with CBC News, the Prime Minister himself had a chance to defend Fantino. It wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement.
Will do you remain confident in Mr. Fantino as the minister?
You know, Peter, you know what the answer to that question is. You don't have to ask it.
So there's no cabinet shuffle looming in the early new year.
By definition, the Prime Minister has confidence in all of his ministers.
The new guy isn't as likely to be criticized as insensitive.
It's an honor for me to serve our veterans.
Erin O'Toole is a veteran. He was a navigator in the Air Force, and in 2009 he helped start a military-oriented charity, the True Patriot Love Foundation.
The question is whether or not Mr. O'Toole wants to make a difference.
Some of Fantino's biggest critics say they want to know whether this is just a cosmetic change.
It's about the public image, the bad public image of this government being accused of treating veterans in a shabby manner.
As for Fantino, it's worth noting the Prime Minister didn't get rid of him. He just gave him a lower-profile job.
If he was trying to take care of only the political problem, Julian Fantino would be gone. It's a mystery to us that he's still there.
I think that's very clearly a measure taken by Mr. Harper so as to not totally humiliate Mr. Fantino, who has ably shown how incompetent he was at Veterans Affairs.
Fantino remains an important ambassador for Conservatives in the Toronto area's significant Italian-Canadian community. And he's staying on cabinet committees. A sign his input still matters. So, Veterans Affairs in new hands and that meeting with Kathleen Wynne. Stephen Harper is clearly trying to start the new year by dispensing with some of last year's troubles. We'll see if it works. Peter?
All right, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine Cullen in Ottawa tonight.